on this web. We are not rare. But before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio grassman or even the Michigan dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods folklore is unlocked.
Welcome to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week we are covering the Dark Watchers, who just might have psychokinesis. And they're also known as Los Vigilantes Obscuros, which I believe pretty much translates to the Dark Watchers from Spanish to English. So, well, one of the rare times the translation is pretty much literal. And they're, they're apparently a group of figures reportedly seen observing travelers along the Santa Lucia Mountains in California. And if you're on YouTube, you can see what these Dark Watchers apparently look like.
Could you
Which is
imagine just sitting there hiking and like you just feel like someone watching you, and you just like look off at like the side or something like that, and you just see some shadowy figure there? That'd be really creepy.
exactly. And the legends were originally attributed to the Chumash people, and the key word in there is were originally attributed to the Chumash people because there are no similar legends in the Chumash people's legends and mythos. And the Spanish sailors were the first people to actually see the entities and gave them the name of Los Vigilantes Obscuros. Like I mentioned earlier, so the Spanish were the ones that to first see them, though again originally attributed to the Chumash, but it seems to be more of a recent, or at least a more recent development. And their physical description is they stand anywhere from 7 to 15 feet tall, dressed in all black with flowing cloaks and wide brimmed hats, seen with staves or walking sticks. No facial features have ever been seen, and they seemingly dislike hikers with high tech equipment, and they like hikers with low tech equipment. So, like a like a actual compass and like walking stick and minimal modern devices. And if you have modern devices, they apparently don't like you.
So the Steinbecks are me- mentioned in the short story "Flight" by John Steinbeck. The Dark Watchers are mentioned, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. And then Thomas Steinbeck, John's son, would report to see the Dark Watchers as a kid. And then alive, Hamilton and John's mother believed in the Dark Watchers also. So the whole Steinbeck's family believed in the Dark Watchers or had seen them at some point.
Which is interesting since John had like books and the Grapes of Wrath, and oh, you just mentioned it before we started this, but All right, forgot.
And then there's, of course, other stories of the Dark Watchers, where uh, they were also mentioned in such what is that word?
Councils.
Oh my gosh, that's counsels. Okay, sorry. Such counsels you gave to me by poet Robinson Jeffers and Monterey Peninsula local on the hiking trip reported a sighting in the 1960s. But anyways, there are some theories to the Dark Watchers, and I do not believe that they're the ghosts and spirits. We're gonna go all the way from the top, and then ghosts and spirits is a theory. But so one of them is pareidolia, which I think most people are understand what it is, but maybe don't know the word. So whenever you see an object and you give it like humanized traits or like living traits, so like I have this picture of a light outlet. Uh, what do you see in it? I see eyes and a mouth, smiling. That is pareidolia. Whenever you see something like that and you give it traits or something like that, and yeah, can you just imagine just like looking out and you see a rock that might have a face or something like that? That's pareidolia. And then infrasound, which I had never heard about until this, and I really like the idea of it. So basically, there is a certain wavelength or hertz that they think could be connected to ghost sightings and stuff like that. So between 18 hertz and 19 hertz, they think that at that frequency, it's just below our like hearing, or at least most people's, and it's thought that this will vibrate your eyeball just a little bit, and it'll be enough to cause you to see things. So that's what they think that ghost sightings stuff like that are, is just your eyeball kind of vibrating. And it can be any machinery or whatnot, just putting off a little bit of vibrations, like humming just a little bit, and that's enough.
And honestly, the 18 to 19 hertz wavelength is like the best theory I've heard about, like ghosts and spirits being seen theory I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's the thing. They actually have scientific like kind of data that like it does vibrate your eyeball, and I mean it does. If your eyeball's vibrating, it's gonna make you see a little bit different. I mean, it it's the best I can think too. I mean it. That's why I love about it.
I mean, aside from ghosts and spirits actually existing, this infrasound theory is like the best theory out there.
Hmm. Then we also have optical illusions and hallucinations, which most people have seen them when they're out on hikes on the mountain range. So they're exhausted and stuff like that. I mean, they could hallucinate and see a shadow creature somewhere over there. I mean, who's to say? I think hallucinations are probably the best idea about what they are. And then ghosts and spirits, of course.
And then, like optical illusions, the Dark Watchers are typically seen when it's like getting darker. It is dark out, so it could be like a tree that's been like knocked down and only part of it still up. So it looks like kind of looks like a tall human or humanoid in a sense. So
Yeah,
it could,
I
I,
didn't, I didn't know that they were seen near like the end of the day. So like that even makes even more sense. Like the since the sun would be going down in the horizon and it's shedding the shadows even longer and stuff like that, that makes even better sense.
and I think it's the Dark Watchers is an interesting story with believable parts, but nothing more than like pareidolia maybe infrared, optical illusions, maybe some hallucinations, but I don't think they're I don't think it's likely to be ghosts or spirits, but there's an outside chance that they're ghosts or spirits, in my opinion.
Yeah, gotta leave it open just in case we do find ghosts and spirits, like find a way to see them. It's like that. Gotta cover all your bases.
Exactly. Likely just pareidolia, infrasound obstruction, optical illusions or hallucinations. Probably each being like, oh, I'd say ghosts and spirits is about 1% chance, if that. And then you can do the math to get pareidolia in for sound optical illusions and hallucinations to fill out the math.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I don't really believe in the Dark Watchers, but they are interesting. It's and also really weird to the point that I kind of like them. Like they don't really do anything other than they just like watch you on like the mountain range. So I mean, it's kind of weird, but I like the idea of them. And from what they could be, I think the hallucinations and optical illusions are probably the best and most likely cause, especially because of people being exhaustion, like having exhaustion from the hiking and stuff on the mountain range. And as you can tell, I do like the idea of infrasound, and I think it's like a real game changer in my mind. But since the Dark Watchers are more often seen by low tech people, I don't think it's as likely because if it's low tech, they're not going to have like electronics that are going to be vibrating or anything like that to cause the 18 to 19 hertz range that would like vibrate your eyeball or whatnot. So that's about the only reason why I would say it's probably not infrasound. And plus, they're in the middle of mountains. There's not that much like electronics and whatnot.
Technology.
Exactly, not that much technology, which kind of makes me sad because I want it to be infrasound. But yeah, since it's low tech people, I doubt it's infrasound. So most likely just hallucinations or optical illusions because kind of like we were saying there, they're mostly seen at like the end of the day when the sun's low on the horizon. It'd be making the trees cast really long shadows. That's the reason why you might see 7 to 15-foot dark watchers. That sounds like the best idea to me.
Yeah, and I just think the Dark Watchers are just like creepy enough to scare you and to be interesting, but if you actually dig into it, I don't think there's much to them.
Well,
But
well, you said on the very beginning of the episode, you said they might have cytokinesis. You said, where did that come from?
yep. Well, like I read some like they could like well like move things, and since they're not physical beings, they would have to move it somehow, and people theorized with psychokinesis. So that's why I threw it in there at the beginning of the episode, and into our new theme song as well. But
Okay, I knew you mentioned that, and it never came up at all in these slideshows, and I'm like, what the heck, are you holding out on me?
well, I unless you've got anything, that's about all I've got for the Dark Watchers.
Oh, I'm good.
Well, that's it for this week. Next week we're gonna do the Phantom Time hypothesis, which good Lord made my head hurt doing the research, putting together the slideshow. I'm sure it's going to hurt my brain even more when we do it next week.
Oh, it'll be fine.
So, So join us next week as we do the family time hypothesis, or as I like to call it, the make my brain hurt hypothesis. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Rougarou. At Folklore Unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, the folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokaloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like a phoenix, coming back around again and again. The laser strain on your brain if you've got more than 2 brain cells in you. Some believe McCartney is dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject to folklore.